The following is a presentation of the United Wrestling Network.
Welcome, everyone, to Week 2 of HALSTON BODDY'S COASTLINE CLASH. Todd Kennelly, James Kincaid, Blake Troop here with the call of the action, and the namesake of the event himself, the lethal accessory, HALSTON BODDY.
Well, hello.
You seem to be in quite a chipper mood.
Did you see what Viva Van did to that Cece Chanel? Victory and violence, my dears.
Salt in the wounds. Big matches coming your way this week, fans, including one of the all-time greats of the United Wrestling Network, BHK Kevin Martenson, taking on former three-time Arizona State champ, EJ Sparks.
Man, this is really the old versus the present to figure out who is the future.
And in our main event, that four-way tag team title match that you made. Can't wait for that.
I cannot wait. I almost want to be ringside, but that's too close. Too close.
You're too close right now.
Who's your haberdasher?
The following contest is a singles match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Phoenix, Arizona, weighing at 175 pounds, Phoenix's favorite son, EJ Sparks.
In what promises to be a matchup of United Wrestling Network present versus United Wrestling Network past, to determine who will be the United Wrestling Network future, EJ Sparks has one heck of a test in this Coastline Clash matchup.
What a way to set the table, TK. You said it. I mean, we have such an athlete in EJ Sparks against a stalwart in Kevin Martenson.
And introducing his opponent from the Electric City, weighing in at 210 pounds, BHK Kevin Martenson.
Kevin Martenson, a fixture in the over 10-year history of the United Wrestling Network. I mean, I remember calling my very first episodes of Championship Wrestling from Hollywood and seeing him dive from the stage in the Galaxy Theater in Santa Ana, California, into action with the Rock Nest Monsters at the time. This man has been a television champion, a tag team title holder many times over, one of the most decorated competitors in the history of this company and this program.
Challenge for all the gold has Kevin Martenson, and he's been through all that history, and he's still here, still standing, still fighting as hard as ever.
No question about it. And but the same can be said for his opponent.
Absolutely. Both these guys have earned their spots here at the Coastline Clash, and this should be a brawl between, like you said, the past and the present.
And Blake Troop, EJ Sparks, no stranger to jewelry, as you put it. A three-time former Arizona State champion. He's had a recent shot at that as well, and should be a heck of a matchup. Both competed live on pay-per-view during the first season of Primetime Live. Had some great matches on there as well. EJ Sparks' recent victory over Jordan Cruz. What a matchup that was. This one should be a good one. Sit back, cinch it up, and get ready for a heck of a ride. Looking for the sharpshooter, the rat trap in the early seconds of this thing.
Very smart. Martenson wanted no part of the striking. Immediately went in and created a grappling exchange that almost led to that sharpshooter.
Yeah, good game plan from Kevin Martenson. He's a little bit of an odd duck, is Martenson, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't come in with a strategy and a plan to every matchup that he's in.
He's a smart guy. He realized that EJ Sparks' main advantage is going to be his striking. So by getting in and getting this to be a grappling matchup, he's essentially eliminating that striking aspect that EJ Sparks is so good at.
Yeah, well, if you can sink in that sharpshooter in the opening seconds, you're not going to be in danger of getting hit with that roundhouse rhythm, that's for sure. Now looking for it again. All he's got to do is turn him over, and he does, but EJ Sparks uses the momentum to his advantage and gets out of there.
Yeah, EJ looking to needs a little bit of a breather there. I think a little surprised by what Martenson's thrown at him.
I think there was some torque on that leg, though, guys. You can see that it's given EJ some problems. Your thoughts on this play?
Yeah, that right leg is EJ Sparks' main kicking leg. So if if there is some damage on that, that can start to sway the route that this fight is going to continue to go.
Nice agility there by EJ Sparks to set up the striking. This is, of course, week 2 out of 3 big weeks of Coastline Clash. And, you know, we should see a great wrestling match here, great striking, great grappling, everything under the sun. What we're not going to see is maybe some of the violence and chaos that we saw in our main event of week 1 of Coastline Clash, that last man standing matchup between Jordan Clearwater and Jack Band.
I say it every time. Chaos personified between those two. And you're talking about going back to the leg of EJ Sparks. We've seen his opponents target that before and have some success. Now Martenson, though, looks like going after that lower back of Sparks as well, picking him apart.
I would like to see Kevin Martenson try and keep himself attached as much as possible to EJ. We saw EJ get off a barrage of different high-impact jumping kick attacks. And if there's any time there's space between these two, these kicks can come into play like they did right there.
Caught him on the way in, and now what a jumping back kick. You can hear it echoing off the walls of the Ocean View Pavilion. He could have him here. And I'll tell you, even though he's a former 3-time Arizona State champion, if he scores the victory over Kevin Martenson, one of the greatest to ever do it here in the United Wrestling Network, at Coastline Clash under the bright lights, I got to think this could be the biggest victory in the young career of EJ Sparks.
It would be quite the feather in the cap for EJ Sparks, but he gets caught again with a backbreaker. Martenson really targeting that area of his body now.
You know, even attacking the back, that can definitely take away a lot of the arsenal of EJ Sparks because his legs are attached to his torso. The less his body's able to do, you can start to remove some of these limb attacks, whether it's punching or kicking. If you can take the guy's body out, you can take a lot of the rest of his attacks away from him.
Kevin, yes, I'm sorry. I was just going to say measuring him here, Blake, and I got to ask you, too. You talk about taking away the kicks, but also attacking the back, does that take away maybe the torque that EJ needs for that roundhouse rhythm?
100%. It takes away a lot of his attacks and even his grappling offense and defense. Oh, here we go again. Another, big backbreaker there by Kevin. Wow.
A trifecta of lethal backbreakers there by BHK. James Kincaid, this has got to be taking its toll.
Clearly the game plan of Kevin Martenson. What is he setting up here for? Martenson going up top. What is in store for EJ Sparks? Maybe take a little bit too much time. EJ Sparks still has the agility. He scores with that kick to the head.
Phoenix's favorite son digging down deep and now sending the spaceman on a ride out of the stratosphere all the way back down to the surface. But the veteran instincts there of BHK getting to the outside, maybe the safety outside the ring, but not if Sparks has anything to say. Full head of steam.
Whoa.
Suicide dive to the outside.
You know, I was going to say that was a veteran move there by Kevin, getting on the outside so that he...
And if there's anything we know about Martenson, he hates ramps. We'll be back right after this.
The legendary Dave Brown returns to Memphis Wrestling courtesy of Pro Shingle, a professional roofing company. Plus, Dave Brown returns to Call the Action. Sunday, May 16th. Tickets are on sale now at ChampionshipWrestlingMemphis.com. Our next free watch party at Dave & Buster's is WWE WrestleMania Backlash. Join us Sunday, May 16th. It's free to watch. Plus, you'll get a free game card. That's Dave & Buster's Wolf Chase.
It's amazing how resilient EJ Sparks is. He seems by far the fresher of the two, even after eating that series of devastating backbreakers earlier. Pinpoint knee now by Sparks, who's caught his second win, but so tough, so much power. You know, really underrated power in BHK. It's tough to keep him down for the 1-2-3.
Underrated power, underrated resilience, the durability, but really that dive that sent Martenson into his dreaded foe, the ramp, turned the tide in this matchup. Martenson, though, the jawbreaker, looking to switch it back around in kind as the pendulum swings.
Yeah. And now the big drop kick there by BHK. He's so much history in the United Wrestling Network. BHK made his name here on Championship Wrestling in the Hollywood area, as I mentioned, from the Galaxy Theater to the Showcase Theater to Glendale Studios and now to Ocean View Pavilion. And EJ Sparks in Championship Wrestling from Arizona. We saw the maturation of this great young athlete, and now they collide, and something's got to give. Look out here. Big-time German suplex.
I thought Sparks had him on Dream Street. Cover could be all.
And Blake, there we see that power I spoke of. What a throw by BHK.
Yeah, for him to be able to see that coming, that's, again, the veteran fight IQ in there where he saw that big attack coming, was able to latch on and plant EJ Sparks in the mat big time. Again, going back to attacking that back. He has been putting it on EJ's back throughout this matchup.
Similar strategy that BHK used when he scored 2 victories over, member of the tag team champs, the Bodega, Danny Limelight. They had a series of great matches.
God, he is laser focused on that back of EJ Sparks.
So right now he's wrenching his back. He has a hand on his chin and a hand on the ankles with the knees in between where he's essentially hyperextending the low back after significantly damaging it throughout the matchup. He might be able to get this submission here.
Yeah, that variation of the bow and arrow. He's got it elevated surfboard style as well. And relinquishes it, but damage is done.
Damage done. I don't know if Martenson had it fully locked in there. You saw him trying to adjust while he had him in the hold. Thought better of it. I would bet dollars to donuts, though, that he's going to follow up on that back of EJ Sparks yet again, and he does.
Boy, he really planted him. Drove him with that body slam. That's taken a rudimentary move and just putting that extra emphasis on it. And you can see the results. EJ's not moving and now just starts to stir. Maybe playing possum there.
God, I've heard of a second wind. EJ has even more than that, but Martenson looking to fire back.
Oh, question mark
Beautiful
kick.
question mark kick. Wow, to the back of the head there. Kevin Martenson is hurt.
Well, and we'll get more on that.
Measuring
maybe.
him.
Looking for the roundhouse rhythm. Nobody home. Nicely scouted. Big pump kick up the middle by BHK. The veteran instincts right there. Probably went to the hollow deck maybe and went over this matchup a few times. Simulated it.
Yeah, had a well scout. Oh no, what has BHK got in store for EJ Sparks? This is damage written all over. Don't do this.
He's thinking about it. He's thinking, but now.
You can see EJ Sparks writhing in pain, holding that knee.
Screams of anguish by Phoenix's favorite son, and I don't know. And I thought maybe some remorse.
Thinking.
I thought some remorse, but perhaps not.
He's gonna. Oh my God! Somebody's got to stop this.
Wow, this is essentially a figure 4 leg lock right here. Using the corner post.
Oh my God!
And a crossface for extra measure. Now he's got to break it before 5. He can't win the matchup here. But what is Sparks going to have left after this?
Martenson just looks like he's breaking down before our very eyes. I mean, what galaxy is he in right now? Where is his head?
Well, we've seen him go for the finish several times. Twice that sharpshooter didn't work. Twice he's gone to the top rope and been countered. He is probably wondering what he has to do to put this young lion away.
Look at his eyes. What is Kevin Martenson thinking?
We saw Martenson got frustrated. He had his first shot at the Heritage title in 14 years. You know, he was an alternate in the tournament to crown the first ever United Wrestling Network world champion. I think he feels that he's been overlooked, and he's going to be overlooked no more, and he's going to get the win by any means necessary, it seems. You know, when BHK starts pulling that beard, I mean, that harkens back to Vermin, perhaps the most destructive force here in the history of this program. And you'll remember it was BHK that got rid of the second. That in SoCal distancing played a big role in taking them off the map.
Look at Sparks on one leg trying to fend off Martenson here.
Oh,
man. We're
man.
going to go right back to it. Chop block of sorts. EJ Sparks right back down to the mat.
Clip in the knee there. The ligaments and tendons have got to be screaming. Look out here. Brain buster spikes him here on Coastline Clash. And the waters are getting rough for EJ Sparks.
Here is your winner, Kevin Martenson.
Let's take a look back at the action. Getting the victory by any means necessary. There is BHK. A replay brought to you by UnitedWrestlingShop.com. Utilizing the post. How lethal was that, guys?
Wow, the leverage he was able to create by using that goal post on the knee, incredible.
Attack downstairs, then attacking upstairs. There you see it. Brainbuster City and BHK, the past and perhaps the future. And now, you know.
He just sort of reset the leg of EJ Sparks like it undoes what he did?
Look that way. I I don't think that's going to erase the tactics. But in the record book, it'll show BHK got the victory. Now collecting some of the beads, and we're going to collect ourselves. We'll be back with more Coastline Clash.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jack Farmer here, standing by with the American Kaiju, Devin Sparks, and El Numero Uno, Mike Camden. Fellas, you've had your history with the Bodega already, but now we've added 2 more teams for that 4-way elimination tag team match for the United Wrestling Tag Team Championships. Fellas, have the HOGSMEN bit off more than they can chew this time?
Have the HOGSMEN bit off more than they can chew? That just tells me that you haven't done your job as a journalist, let's be honest, because the American Kaiju made his return to championship wrestling from Hollywood, and he bought his best friend in life, El Numero Uno, Mike Camden, the HOGSMEN, for the United Wrestling Tag Team Championships. And wow, we were supposed to make history. Yeah, it was going to be history. We had our history, and we were going to make history, but we didn't. Because 4 little gaijin walked into the ring. We had the neon Pokemon, we had Simple Jack, and we had 4 inches of meat show up where they didn't belong. So now we have 8 people in a match when there was supposed to be just the 4 of us, right? So Mike, let me ask you: is there anything else that we need to prove? Is there anything that's going on in your head? I didn't think so. This is about us. Happens now.
There you have it, 4-team elimination match for the United Wrestling Tag Team Championship in our main event.
Dave Brown returns to Memphis Wrestling courtesy of Pro Shingle, a professional roofing company. Join us Sunday, May 16th for a VIP experience with Dave Brown at our new Wrestle Center. Limited tickets are on sale now at ChampionshipWrestlingMemphis.com. Get ready for the Grind City Rumble. Open invitation. Every man and woman for themselves. Who will be crowned the first ever Memphis Heritage Champion? Find out May 15th at high noon on CW30 Memphis. Our next free watch party at Dave & Buster's is WWE WrestleMania Backlash. Join us Sunday, May 16th. It's free to watch. Plus, you'll get a free game card. That's Dave & Buster's Wolf Chase.
Oh, hey sir, I'm gonna need you to move your car.
Sorry, what do you mean?
You're double parked. I'm gonna have you move your
Yeah,
car.
this is how we park in this parking lot. We've been doing this for 7 years.
I'm
My car,
sorry,
there's no other
but
spots in here. So
I
my car's-
really have to have you move your car.
Okay.
Sir, you're double parked. You're taking up 2 spaces.
Okay, I'll tell you what. How about instead of moving my car, how about I move you? Do you have a problem with that now all of a sudden?
Sir?
What if I
Sir?
take you and I make you move my car? Would you like that?
Sir.
Sir, nothing. My car's gonna stay where it is,
All
and
right.
I'm gonna go inside and wrestle.
All right.
Pick up my bag. You keep an eye on that thing. Make sure no one touches it.
Okay.
The following contest is a singles match scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, from Nampa, Idaho, weighing in at 175 pounds, the Lost Cause, ADRIAL, NOCTIS.
Former partners gonna collide here as part of Coastline Clash. Unique matchup anytime, tag team partners or training partners face off, Blake.
Yeah, anytime guys that know each other very well face off, it's very interesting because both guys know what each other like to do.
And introducing his opponent from Sin City, weighing in at 170 pounds, the skate park scumbag, Sketch.
Sketch making his way to the ring here with hair that would make Dee Snider proud.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. But, I mean, do you even think that he knows who Twisted Sister is? Either one of them. I doubt it.
Probably not. But anyway, what a matchup we look to have here. To Blake's point, I mean, it's got to be tough. Do you maybe dig deep into your bag of tricks and try and make some change up offensively to give your opponent something they're not going to expect?
You know what? I think the biggest factor that's going to come into play is a guy that is better able to control his emotions here, because both these guys know each other's style very well, but they also have a little bit of personal beef going on between each other. And I think the guy who can keep his head in the game the longest is the guy who's going to walk away successful.
A lot of pride, a lot of bragging rights coming out of this one, whoever wins.
A lot of personal drama. These guys have been getting into it, man. It's deeper than all that. It's deeper than wins and championships. This is some personal drama between these two guys. And I expect to see them scrap a little bit here tonight.
Keeping it fundamental in the early going. So both showing some respect. And fools rush in when you're in there with somebody that knows you so well. But maybe some deep-seated frustration because, as I mentioned, they came very close to winning the tag team titles at one point when the Soul Burners were the champions, but came up short, had some great matches, some great wins, but just couldn't sustain that success. And as we saw last time out against Honest John and Anthony Idol, these two just really didn't seem on the same page.
Not on the same page. Maybe a little bit of angst about coming up short. You know, one blaming the other. It certainly seems to be the case here. And I think to your earlier point, I think one or both of them might pull out some tricks that the other hasn't seen before.
Nice deep arm drag there by the skate park scumbag, Sketch, isolating and neutralizing his opponent, the Lost Cause.
Sketch is doing a fantastic job of using his knee to keep Adrial down. Adrial was able to clear the knee and get back on his feet very quickly, though.
Really putting their fundamental wrestling on display. Nice kitchen sink knee, though, by Noctis. We might see what Sketch had for lunch. Caught him right in the breadbasket.
Well, for our sake, I hope we don't see that. But Noctis, he's got to follow up. He's got to shake the cobwebs off that arm and keep on his former tag team partner here.
I got to wonder if he threw that big knee out of a little bit of frustration, where Skate's been doing a good job of countering a lot of the things Adrial's been throwing at him. And Adrial just decided to hit blast him. Again, another great counter by Skate. Let's see if he can keep these up.
Sketch takes him down. I got to tell you guys, these shots, we saw the knee from Noctis, now one by Sketch, the big shot from the outside by Sketch, and now Northern Lights suplex with the bridge. I'd say the feeling out process is over.
Yeah, I'll say so, and that was just a beautiful Northern Lights from Sketch there.
Yeah, immediately into the pin, you can tell that Sketch is really looking for the finish. Anytime a guy wastes a lot of time between a big slam and a pin, he's giving away the win. Sketch wanted no part of that. Sketch is here to get the W.
Well, Sketch a little bit of jaw-jacking at Noctis' expense there, and it ended up catching him going throat and face first into the top rope.
Great singles matchup here between two former tag team partners. Speaking of tag teams, of course, huge tag team title main event for the United Tag Team Championship still to come in our main event of this edition of Coastline Clash. What a blockbuster event it has been. Into the cover now goes Noctis. Seesaw battle back and forth.
Yeah, as you might expect from two combatants that know each other so well, have been in the foxhole together, and now on opposite sides.
What a physical matchup we saw earlier on, too, with Martenson. Sparks, hold on here.
You're knocked to say, what happened to brotherhood?
Yeah.
This is what I was talking about, emotions getting out of hand. Whoever can control their emotions, there's a lot of personal history between these two guys. Good and now bad as well.
Yeah, boiling over here. Coastline Clash cover. Could be all.
Do you think, though, that this might be just what the doctor ordered? Do you think they go their separate ways after this battle, or do you think they air their grievances physically with this battle and maybe they galvanize again as a team?
You know, I'm a combat sports guy, and I think sometimes, men, we need to bang it out and figure things out the physical way. I think it could be good for these two guys. I really do.
Noctis was looking for something high impact, but he telegraphed it, and there we go into the cover. That's what we talked about. Sketch knew it was coming and countered nicely into the snap suplex.
I don't really see them being
Whoa,
able
armbar.
to. Look at that. What a maneuver by Noctis there.
Yeah, Noctis threw that armbar up very quickly, latched on. If he can get separation, if he can get that arm, might have a pin here.
Almost caught Sketch sleeping there. Would have been a quick night. What a shot.
Wow.
To the head of Sketch. Somehow able to stay on one foot, though.
Nasty head kick there by Noctis, but beautiful timing by Sketch. Body strewn out here. Sketch and Noctis both laid out. They are bringing their A game.
This was a perfect example of guys knowing what they were going to do next. Sketch has seen Adrial do this move a million times and was able to counter it. He was there ready for that, and that's why both these guys are so evenly matched.
Both charge and meet in the center of the ring, and now it's quicker to the punch is Sketch. He is rocking and rolling Noctis right now. Noctis trying to clear the cobwebs. German suplex by the skate park scumbag. Is that going to be enough? Well, even Sketch doesn't think so.
God, he launched Noctis, though. I would have maybe gone for the cover there, but he's got something else in store for Noctis. Able to slip out, though, maybe costing Sketch not going for it.
These are another time where knowing a guy's moves comes into play. That's why they're able to counter all these big moves. Wow.
Oh, he caught him low. He caught him low.
Ref didn't see that either.
What lengths will Noctis go to here? And that's going to do it. Oh, you hate to see it.
Here is your winner, ADRIAL NOCTIS.
I'm here with Car Shield World Champion Rick.
Woo! Car Shield's America's favorite money-saving, roadside assistant, tow truck calling, rental car getting, and teamed up with your truly. Woo!
Here's what's coming up for Memphis Wrestling. Tomorrow, May 16th, Dave Brown returns to Memphis Wrestling. Oh yeah! Our live TV taping will feature Dave Brown's return to the broadcast booth to call the action. Plus, you can meet Dave Brown during the VIP experience presented by Pro Shingle, a professional roofing company. Limited tickets are still available at championshipwrestlingmemphis.com, and it all goes down at our brand new Memphis Wrestling Wrestle Center. Immediately following the matches, grab your free game card and head over to Dave & Buster's for our free WrestleMania Backlash watch party. That's Dave & Buster's Wolf Chase. Then, on May 22nd, it's American Hostile Championship Wrestling in Dexter, Missouri at the Lair Center, featuring the Young Goats, the Crowleys, Derek King, Big Jack, and more. And on Sunday, May 23rd, SOAR Championship Wrestling is back at the Hilton in Memphis to remember Owen Hart, presented by Brinson Tax Service, LLC. Tickets are on sale at soarcwpro.com. Bell time is 5 p.m. If that wasn't enough, Drive-In Wrestling returns on Saturday, May 29th on Ridgeway Road, benefiting the Heal the Hood Foundation of Memphis and the Hero Empowerment Center. One low price. Get your entire carload in for Memphis Wrestling, food trucks, and more. Stay up to date and informed on everything Memphis Wrestling at championshipwrestlingmemphis.com.
Get ready for the Grind City Rumble. Open invitation. Every man and woman for themselves. Who will be crowned the first ever Memphis Heritage Champion? Find out at high noon on CW30 Memphis.
Jamie, I've been talking to you.
Yes.
I was just given a very, very difficult time out in the parking lot by our attendant. He told me I can't park where I'm parking. I've been parking in this lot for 7 years. How long has it been? And all of a sudden I can't park? What can we do here, please?
Okay. Hold on. Let me think for a second what it would be like to not have a parking space. I can't really think about it. Can't really manifest it. But I'm a helping person. I'm here to make this place better.
Thank you.
So, I'm going to throw you a bone, as it were. So, you're not mistaken my car. It's one of a kind. They only gave one to me, and my boy Brett Ratner, and honestly, we haven't even seen the guy who designed it after that. But anyway, irregardless, there's no mistaking when I pull up. What kind of car do you drive?
Family vehicle, van.
All right,
for my kids.
Gas mileage, carpooling, I get it.
Yes, it takes up space, and I need a
I
spot to park out there.
I get it, and a person like you should have.
I should, because when I show up, I'm going to tell you honestly, when I show up and I don't have a spot, and then some little twerp gets in my face, and he starts telling me about where I need to park, who I can't park in front of, what I can't do, who I can't be, it kind of just starts getting at me, and it digs at me, and I know that I'm trying to stay calm, and I don't want to get upset, and I don't want to blow up, but I swear to God, when he tells me that I can't park where I'm going to park, it starts bubbling up inside me, Jamie. There are things that I don't know, I just start seeing red or green and pink, and I just want to...
No, Dan.
What?
Dan, I like this.
It's nice.
Thank you. We're going to get you that spot, all right? We're going to get you that parking space. I can't be held responsible for what you do outside these doors, so please just calm down, take a Zoloft, and we'll have your space. All right? It's done.
Thank
Good?
You.
Good.
That's all I ever wanted.
Good. The Calm app is really good, man. I highly suggest you download it.
I don't know what that means.
Main event time here with the United World Tag Team titles on the line. And is there a hotter team as of late than Midnight Heat?
There might not be. I mean, they aptly named, they bring the heat and they bring the kinetic energy courtesy of Guy TWEAKACETTI. And Midnight Heat really just embracing this new attitude.
No question about it. They've got their shot, as do a couple other teams. This will be a 4-team elimination matchup. United Tag Team titles up for grabs at HALSTON BODDY'S Coastline Clash. Here come the Hogsmen, Mike Camden and the American Kaiju, Devin Sparks, and they, had a great shot at the tag team titles in the Bodega last time out until total chaos broke loose, leading to HALSTON BODDY making this matchup.
Yeah, and I mean it was a good move to make this because like you said, everything just spun out of control in the tag team division. So now everyone is going to get their shot at it, and the Hogsmen, Sparks and Camden, looking to make good on the opportunity they had last time and looking to cash it in for real.
I don't blame the Hogsmen for being a little frustrated by this. They were doing pretty well in that matchup against the Bodega. Now they got 4 other dudes to worry about.
And here you see Howdy Price and his new combination here of the hot commodities, Honest John, and the Neon Phenomenon, Anthony Idol.
A couple of con men and Honest John and Howdy Price certainly aligned there. And I'm still just stunned by Anthony Idol and the fact that he would throw in his lot with this crew.
Throw in his lot and basically throw out Jack Cartwright and that whole association that they had.
Yeah, threw the whole relationship away, really threw a lot of his legacy away in my estimation.
Howdy Price's boys tend to find a way to get victorious, and so maybe Anthony Idol was tired of losing. He might have signed his soul over to the devil a little bit by teaming up with the Price Ranch, but...
Well, if there's a way to steal this one, Honest John will find it.
And here you see the champs, King Fatboy Papo Esco, joined again by the king of the Concrete Jungle, Slice Boogie. This incarnation of the Bodega going to put the titles on the line yet again. And these other 3 teams might just have to pay the street tax.
Yeah, they'll be looking to enforce that tax, and also maybe no time more than ever, the Bodega will be more concerned with just winning ugly as opposed to anything else. They just want to escape here with their tag team championships still around their waists.
I know it's pro wrestling cliche, Blake, but I hope the ring is reinforced for this one. Look at this humanity. More on that in a second. Here to set the stage, our own Adnan Qureshi.
The following contest is scheduled for TV time remaining and is a 4-way elimination match for the United World Tag Team Championship. Introducing challenging team number 1, being accompanied to the ring by Guy TWEAKACETTI at a combined weight of 400 pounds, rockin' Ricky Gibson and Precious Eddie Pearl, Midnight Heat. Introducing challenging team number 2 at a combined weight of 390 pounds, the American Kaiju, Devin Sparks, and El Numero Uno, Mike Camden, the Hogsmen. Introducing challenging team number 3 at a combined weight of 467 pounds, Honest John and the Neon Phenomenon, Anthony Idol, the Hot Commodities. And introducing the champions at a combined weight of 536 pounds. They are the United World Tag Team Champions, the King Fat Boy, Papo Esco, and the King of the Concrete Jungle, Slice Boogie, the Bodega.
Champs have a pretty good hand here, guys. A pair of kings, King Fat Boy and the King of the Concrete Jungle in Slice Boogie. And man, oh man, the particulars out of the way, and this is one big-time powder keg that looks like it is ready to explode.
Yeah, it was already starting to spill over during the introductions there, and we will see if the Bodega can stay kings of the tag team division.
The Bodega weighing in with a combined weight of 536 pounds. I think that them not having Danny Limelight today will actually be a big advantage.
Oh
for them.
my goodness.
Wow. Off to a quick start.
Getting hung out to dry was Honest John. This matchup continues. Tag team titles on the line right after this.
Do you have what it takes to become a pro wrestler? Prove it with the best in Memphis wrestling. I'm head coach King Cobra, and I want to see what you've got. Hit me up today at championshipwrestlingmemphis.com.
Come see the stars of Memphis Wrestling live at our new Wrestle Center. Tickets for May 16th TV taping are now on sale at championshipwrestlingmemphis.com.
Head on over to the new championshipwrestlingmemphis.com where you can find brand new superstar t-shirts. Custom matches are on sale now from our women's division, and of course, we are now enrolling for pro wrestling training at our brand new Memphis Wrestling Wrestle Center. Get all the rates and info on how you can become a pro wrestler or sports entertainer at championshipwrestlingmemphis.com/training.
Welcome back, everyone, to Championship Wrestling. Tag team titles on the line. Guy TWEAKACETTI has not shut up throughout the entire break.
I don't know who talks faster, him or that Micro Machines guy. Oh, Honest John just eats a shot from Mike Camden. Might be out on his feet.
Got to make one mention here. This is elimination rules. Two men, and now Camden going for the cover. Two men in. Any member of any team can be tagged at any time. When a team is pinned or forced to submit, they will be eliminated from the match.
A lot of unpredictability, as you just saw there. Slice Boogie slapping the back shoulder of Camden, tagging himself in, and now Honest John, well, he's back in the corner of the Bodega. That's not where you want to be.
Yeah, Honest John has really been getting passed around the ring and getting beat down by all the other teams in there.
Honest John, though, showing some real fire as well, but that fire can be extinguished in a hurry, courtesy of Slice Boogie.
No doubt. Well, then there again, you see the variables of this matchup is now the Neon Phenomenon is going to try his hand with Slice Boogie.
Blake, you mentioned it. Howdy Price would love to add some more gold to the Price Check Ranch. He's already got the United Television Champion in Levi Shapiro. And could his new team become the United Tag Team Champs?
You know, we saw Slice Boogie just tag right out when Anthony Idol came in, and I think that's very smart strategy. He is saving some gas for later on in this matchup. Once some guys have been eliminated, he's going to be ready for a beatdown.
God, Anthony Idol, what a powerhouse. Just taking it to Eddie Pearl right now. You know, Midnight Heat doesn't want to make an early exit in this one. Look at that, Anthony Idol, but Honest John making a smart tag at the back there,
all
too.
that body weight down, yeah, and I'll tell you what, the Hot Commodities are living up to the moniker. They're just that right now. Fisherman suplex. Can Honest John muscle him over? He does. If he goes for the pin, we might have our first elimination here, guys.
Oh, Ricky Gibson, though, able to break up that pin from afar, distracted Honest John, and now Midnight Heat looking to work over one half of the Hot Commodities.
And double teaming's the name of the game when you're Midnight Heat. They are experts at it, tag team specialists to be sure. They've had some cracks at the tag team titles in recent history as well. Again, now trying to eliminate Honest John. And at this point of the matchup, Blake, you might be happy to be on the outside, because if you're not in the ring, you're not susceptible to elimination.
That's exactly why I think Slice Boogie tagged out earlier in the matchup. I think he's trying to save a whole bunch of gas for when the game's really on the line in the fourth quarter.
That was the power ballad. That's how they used to put people away. And now the legal man back in there in Precious Eddie Pearl. He got him.
The Hot Commodities have been eliminated.
Yeah, you can see Idol distracted on the outside, unable to help Honest John there during that pin attempt.
You know, anybody, like TWEAKACETTI or Howdy Price can distract you outside the ring. That's going to be a factor.
And they're going to have a home back on the range. Well, the Hot Commodities, they won't have a home at the top of the tag team division. Sparks in there now, going for the cover, looking to eliminate Midnight Heat.
Now with Howdy Price and the Hot Commodities eliminated, the numbers game favors Midnight Heat a little bit here.
Well, and it favors everybody a little bit more. The math just got a little bit more advantageous now that the Hot Commodities are out of there. And Midnight Heat, 4 minutes of Heat was successful. Midnight Heat is like a different tag team in there since aligning with TWEAKACETTI. They just have so much confidence.
Yeah, they've just really embraced this new rebrand. You're right. They have all this swag about them, even just from the moment they step in the ring, and it's been paying off. But Sparks might be taking the life out of Gibson. Cover could be eliminated. No, Midnight Heat able to stay in the matchup just barely.
So it's been at the very beginning of this matchup, we really saw all three teams just beating up on Honest John and trying to fight with Anthony Idol. We saw Slice Boogie tag out, and since then the Bodega has just been chilling on the outside, watching Midnight Heat, and whoa, pin. But we've just seen the Bodega hanging out on the outside on the apron. Whoa, another pin attempt.
Yeah, that's what we mentioned, Blake. On this point, there's no shame in being on the sidelines. In a matchup like this, if you're the champions, the championship advantage is out the window. So take advantage of time on the outside. Let these other teams fight it out, eliminate each other.
I agree 100%. Championships are typically won in the fourth quarter, and these guys are saving their gas tank for the fourth quarter, just letting Midnight Heat. Oh, here we go.
Oh, there goes their social life.
Oh, my goodness. Might be hitting those high notes a little easier will be Ricky Gibson.
That's for sure.
Probably not serving up any heat at midnight tonight.
Yep, new single on the way, I gotta believe.
Yeah, Ricky looks like he's going to be on ice for a little bit there. And
but again, Bodega just hanging out on the outside. Happy to watch these two teams beat the crap out of each other.
Into the cover goes the American Kaiju. Yeah, I think Ricky Gibson's going to need some ice, and it won't just be to ice the champagne if they become the United Tag Team Champions.
Looking to tag out now to Eddie Pearl. You're right. And, yeah, the Bodega, they're happy to let this chaos just play out, and they'll get in when they need to.
Slice was out there. He's stretching that calf, and again, that calf has got that protection and, just having some calisthenics.
TK, speaking about that protection. Whoa, huge slam there by Eddie Pearl.
Big-time suplex cover.
But as you were saying with that brace on Slice Boogie's knee, I'm a sports medicine guy, and he says it's for shin splints. You wouldn't put a pad on the front. Well, pin attempt. But you wouldn't put a pad protection on the front of that. I don't think that's there for shin splints. I think he's up to something. Another pin attempt.
That's a good point. I mean, he certainly has turned that shin guard and utilized it effectively, offensively in the past. But again, I think the real story here, guys, is that Midnight Heat and the Hogsmen are going toe-to-toe with reckless abandon, and all the while staying extremely fresh until now. We're the Bodega, and now the big man, King Fat Boy, checks in.
One-man Lucha Gang checks in, and Devin Sparks might be checking out if he's not careful.
Into the cover, and American Kaiju had to have a Kaiju-style effort to kick out from that big splash there, courtesy of Papa Wesco.
It was almost a surprise attack there by Papa Wesco, where he tagged himself on it. Oh, and the same thing happened back to Papa Wesco. Now he's on the outside by surprise tag.
Rockin' Ricky Gibson checked in. I think Papo took offense to that. Papo doesn't like to be told what to do and when to be in the ring and when not. And Gibson took the opportune tag because I think he thinks that Sparks is in big trouble.
I mean, opportune tag, yes, but why not let Papa Wesco, why not let that hog take out Devin Sparks and then, sort of save some more of your energy if you're Midnight Heat?
I think Midnight Heat wants to keep that momentum. They, scored an elimination early on with that power ballad. And now trying to keep Sparks from making that tag.
For an assist from Eddie Pearl, and he's going to get it.
Well, they make one heck of an effective band, that is for sure. Uh-oh, they're looking for the heat magnet. They're looking for the heat magnet. This is how they got a victory before. Oh, they nailed it.
Crushing.
Talk about an encore into the cover. A second elimination.
The
for
HOGSMEN have
Midnight
been
Heat.
eliminated.
It's down to 2 teams, and this matchup rages on right after this.
The legendary Dave Brown returns to Memphis Wrestling courtesy of Pro Shingle, a professional roofing company. Plus, Dave Brown returns to call the action. Sunday, May 16th. Tickets are on sale now at ChampionshipWrestlingMemphis.com. Our next free watch party at Dave & Buster's is WWE WrestleMania Backlash. Join us Sunday, May 16th. It's free to watch. Plus, you'll get a free game card. That's Dave & Buster's Wolf Chase.
Boo all you want. All I see are dollar signs. The overcharger can charge for expensive car repairs because your warranty expired and there's nothing you can do about it. And overcharging, your days are done. Woo! The Ninja Boys teamed up with Car Shield, the Bill Lauren, mechanic of your choosing, Auto Avenger, and we're treating bullies like him to a buffet of woo! Car Shield cars go farther. Woo!
Eddie Pearl trying to put away Slice Boogie, but he's got too much left right now, maybe because he spent most of this matchup on the apron.
I agree with you, but I got to pose another point here, Blake Troop. Yes, they've done the heavy lifting, but and the Bodega, the champs, have remained fresh. But how important is momentum? Because momentum is huge on the side of Midnight Heat. They've eliminated 2 teams. Can they make it 3?
Absolutely. Momentum, as you mentioned, is a big thing. If they can, if Midnight Heat can continue to keep Slice Boogie in and tag in and out between themselves, they can absolutely continue to control the momentum and possibly become new champions here.
And James, Midnight Heat are a long tenured team. Obviously family business with the Bodega, but we're used to seeing Danny Limelight in there and Papo Esco. They're the team that won the titles in the first place, so still in relatively new waters here for the champs. Swinging net breaker, into the cover goes Rockin' Ricky Gibson.
I mean, Midnight Heat are all the way warmed up right now, so you're right, TK, and that momentum playing a factor. Look, Ricky Gibson in full control of Slice Boogie. They're playing the isolation game.
A lot of history between these teams. Midnight Heat has had some big-time opportunities here in the Ocean View Pavilion and in Thunder Studios Primetime Live, and will championship history be made?
And now under the leadership of, Guy TWEAKACETTI, this sort of new attitude of theirs, will this pay off in tag team gold? Not if Slice Boogie has anything to say about it.
Nasty suplex there by Slice Boogie and keeping control, but his shoulder looks to be compromised, Blake.
I would like to see Slice go over the tag there. He almost was able to get Papo back in, and that could have drastically changed that momentum that we were just talking about. We saw.
Cover now.
I love that move by Ricky Gibson as Eddie going for another cover, trying to really wear down Slice Boogie. But I love how Ricky Gibson kept Slice Boogie away from Papo Esco there and was able to make the tag to Eddie Pearl.
We saw the Bodega take it very easy in the beginning, and now they're really struggling to catch their stride. Slice has landed a handful of strikes here, but they have not gotten a whole lot of offense. Here comes Papo. Let's see if he's going to change things up.
And I think that's why the Bodega tried to remain fresh, because the Bodega's built for a sprint, not a marathon. Look out here. High impact. Double your pleasure, double your fun, but not for Midnight Heat.
They are built to crush bones and bodies, and that is exactly what Papo and Boogie are doing right now to both members of Midnight Heat. What is going to happen right here? What is a double Boston Crab?
Oh, sure is. But from a little bit north in New York, little New York City crab here, and now holding on for dear life. And now what's TWEAKACETTI doing?
Distracting the official. He doesn't want to see Midnight Heat submit here. He's doing whatever he has to.
Midnight Heat are grasping each other's hands, I think, so they're unable to tap out.
I don't know if that's trust or lack of trust, but they are still in there. Oh, nearly nailed TWEAKACETTI. Down he goes.
The party captain just capsized in a big way. There you see the shifting. You talked about it, Blake. What did he do there? He shifted that shin brace.
Yeah, I told you, that thing looks sketchy to me. Oh!
Execution style, back of the head. Good night.
Here are your winners and still United World Tag Team Champions, the Bodega.
What a tag team title main event. Let's look back at the action, and there was lots of it. A replay brought to you by CarShield. Man, oh man, was Midnight Heat ever fired up. There you see the power ballad. They got rid of the hot commodities. And then the heat magnet to take care of the Hogsmen, but that left the champions waited in the reeds.
Yeah, the Bodega's game plan played out to perfection. In the end, they were able to win ugly, and that's all they really care about.
But man, we have got to give credit to Midnight Heat. What a performance those boys put on here on the program.
But as they say in pro wrestling cliche, close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. And when it comes to heavy artillery, look no further than the tag team champions, the Bodega. Next week, speaking of championships, the United Television title will be on the line, and so much more as we cap off HALSTON BODDY'S Coastline Clash. We'll see you next time. Switch to decaf.